Hello everyone, we're doing a breakdown today between the Hot Box Sauna and the SaunaBox SmartSteam Pro. The scores that you're seeing on the screen are from our individual breakdowns. I'll put links to those in the description if you guys want to check them out. And we're going to be going through each one of these, and we're going to be using some expensive tech here on Snagit. I'm going to add a little check mark next to each one of these criteria for why I think the product won that criteria. And there may be some curveballs. Even though one may have a higher score than the other, I may go the other way. You never know. So we're going to go through right now, and I will explain to you guys why I gave them the score that I did. Each one is rated 1 through 10. Now, let's go ahead and start with price. So I gave Hot Box Sauna 6, SaunaBox an 8. Why did I do that? So you'll see right away, Hot Box Sauna is not cheap. It is an expensive product. If you're in the market for a Hot Box Sauna, you were probably in the market for a traditional sauna. And one of the benefits, or actually one of the many benefits to getting the Hot Box Sauna is you're not having to pay to get that custom outlet installed in your home, that dedicated 220 volt outlet. You also don't need the $1,000 to $3,000 for a foundation. You don't need a structure permit. You just plug and play. So I have, this is on my channel, by the way. So I went ahead and did a tour of the Hot Box Sauna, and you can see it fit right here in the corner of my garage gym. And maybe you guys want to place this in your home somewhere. It doesn't take up a whole lot of space. It's not a very big product. So it fit comfortably in my home, and that's why I wanted to go ahead and review these two products. Even though the prices are pretty far apart, I thought it would be a worthy comparison because I know there's a lot of people in the market like myself who are looking for something smaller to fit in their home or their garage gym. So you guys can see it fits comfortably there. Really, the only thing you'd have to replace on this product would just be these lights. So wrapped within this Faraday cage is the heater, and within the heater there are these 4 bulbs, and these bulbs are what provide the infrared light, the red light, and also heat the ambient temperature to get up to 220. I've gotten mine up to almost 240 degrees Fahrenheit. So you're getting really the best of all 3 worlds. You're getting the red light, you're getting the infrared, and the really high ambient temperature. So that's one of the, I guess, the best selling points about the Hot Box Sauna is that it's so versatile. Now the SaunaBox, let me go back to it. You guys can see it's made out of polyester, and it's portable. It's not very heavy. It's light. So that's one of the benefits too, that you can move it around in your home. If you want to move it to different sections of your home. Maybe you want to leave it in your backyard, but then it's going to be some bad weather, so you want to move it inside your house. That's one of the benefits to that. Whereas the SaunaBox, depending on the version that you get, you can disassemble it, reassemble it, but that takes time. Once it's fully assembled, this thing is very heavy. It's hundreds of pounds. So unless you're Superman, you're probably not going to be able to move this thing very easily. So at a glance, it's pretty obvious why they're priced the way that they are. Now the SaunaBox, with my promo code, you guys are actually down to $320.90, depending on your sales tax for your area. And also for the SaunaBox, and go ahead and show you guys, with my promo code, you're down to $4,655. So that's why I gave them the prices that I did. There is the option on the Hot Box Sauna's website to pay over time, and the interest is going to vary widely depending on your credit score and other factors. And I guess one of the keys too is that once you pay over time, you could always pay it off early. So like when I did mine, I paid mine over time. I paid it off in a couple of months, so I wasn't paying the full interest on it. So that's a perk too. Maybe you really, really want it now and you don't want to save up for it. And then you know that you can just pay it off in 2 months. So that's something to keep in mind. All right. So that's why I went ahead and gave the SaunaBox a higher score for the price, because obviously more people would be able to afford it right now. Okay, so check mark number 1 is going to the SaunaBox. Comfort. Now you're like, what the heck, man? SaunaBox has a chair. How could the Hot Box Sauna have a higher comfort score? There's something about, I'm very sensitive to smells, and the SaunaBox, even though I've had it almost a year, still has a faint plasticky smell, especially when it heats up. So I don't, that throws it off a little bit for me. Although, I'll go ahead and do my tour of that one too. Let me bring up both of them so you guys can kind of compare. All right. So at a glance, when you're walking up to the SaunaBox, I'm about 5'10" for reference. My head hits those zippers right there, and it's supposed to be able to fit someone who's 6'2". However, once it's opened, you guys see that there's a cell phone holder, a chair that you can sit in, and there's enough room for probably 2 people. You could probably fit 2 people in here. I've only never done it by myself, so you can definitely fit at least 2 people, But you got to keep in mind with the steam, if someone's standing real close to the heater, they may get burned. So you may want to be careful about how many people you try to fit in here. But the SaunaBox, you're like, what the heck, dude? You're sitting on wood. How is that more comfortable? I can't describe it. Well, when you're sitting inside of this Hot Box Sauna and you close that lid, it is like you're being hugged by the red light. There's something so calming about it. I do get a little bit of that being in the steam, but I'm not a big steam person. So maybe someone else who's big into steam may rate these differently. But when I get in that hot box sauna and, it's 210, 215 degrees, I close that lid. I'm able just to close my eyes and just zone out. This backrest that you see is optional. They did just come out with a hemp cushion that you can place on the ground as well. And I just put a cotton towel down on the ground and I'm fine. Your butt does get a little bit uncomfortable depending on how long you're sitting there, but I've never had to get out or anything for it. I just, to really the extent of my readjusting when I'm inside is I will sometimes just kind of move my legs a little bit so that they're not sitting underneath the heater the whole time. But really that's about the extent of how much I move. Whereas in the SaunaBox, you can definitely move around comfortably. Oftentimes I'll shift between standing and sitting. So there is more, overall room in the SaunaBox. But as far as just comfort, I feel more comforted when I'm inside of the Hot Box Sauna. Just like I said, it feels like you're just getting a big red hug from this heater. And I just feel amazing when I get out. So that's why I decided to rate this an 8 and this a 7. Both are good experiences, but overall I would give it to Hot Box Sauna. EMFs. So this one was, well, you know what? I should probably leave that open. Let me leave this open because we may refer to this at some point. Now, EMF. So I have a short on this for both products. We tested the EMF results. And it wasn't looking too good for the SaunaBox. It wasn't terrible. But you guys will see here, this thing is definitely getting some EMFs. And the heater can only extend so far because you've seen there's that plastic or rubber tubing. And it can only extend so far. So even when I was inside of the SaunaBox, some of those EMFs were still coming through because it's a very thin polyester material. Whereas with the Hot Box Sauna, and I'm so sorry if I'm screwing up the names, but I'm trying to actually go in the videos when I'm talking about the product, so hopefully you guys know what I'm trying to say. But the SaunaBox, we got nothing. We got like a little tiny bitty spike, but you have to be essentially touching the heater, and that's not going to be possible to do when it's on. You're going to burn yourself. So we got essentially nothing, no EMFs at all from this Hot Box Sauna. This is the little tiny spike that you saw, but you've seen I have to move my hand almost to the heater to get the number to go up again. The heater is wrapped in a Faraday cage, like I mentioned, so that could explain why the EMFs are so low. So that was the easiest one to rate out of all these. The Hot Box Sauna took the EMF. Durability. This one is pretty obvious as well. The Hot Box Sauna, the reason I didn't give it a 10 is because I haven't had enough experience with those bulbs to see how long that they last. Now, if they're only lasting me 6 months, then that could end up being pretty pricey from having to keep buying new bulbs. But I haven't had an issue with them at all yet. They've worked great. And the wood, you don't have to worry about the wood unless you're completely neglecting it. This should last you a lifetime, potentially, if you're taking care of it. So really, the only thing you have to worry about is just replacing the bulbs. And I'm TBD to see how long these bulbs will last me. And the SaunaBox, I've had mine about a year. I would be worried if this product was outside. If it was in my backyard, I would be worried about the elements destroying this thing. Or animals or kids. You've seen it's not the thickest material. If your kid has something sharp or you have something sharp and you accidentally bump into it, you may tear a hole in your sauna. It's not the thickest material. How long will it last? I don't know. I've had it a year. I have like a little small tear on the bottom, but it's in my garage. So there's nothing really in there that's going to impact the quality of it. I just assume that over time it's going to degrade. And will it last me 5 years? I don't know. I've only had it a year and I just have a minimal amount of damage to it. So that's why I gave it a 6, because in the right environment, it could probably last you a good amount of time. But I mean, it's pretty obvious even looking at them. Would you trust something that looks like a giant wooden tank or something that's made out of polyester? It's pretty obvious to me. So that's why I gave this one to Hot Box Sauna. Okay, so far, Hot Box Sauna is doing better. Now what do we got? We got the size. So the size, I gave the Hot Box Sauna a 9, and I gave the SaunaBox an 8. Why did I do that? So the reason for that is I didn't want something... How do I articulate this to you guys? I like the layout. I like sitting down, and I like that it's not super high up. I probably shouldn't do this, but oftentimes I'll store things on top of my Hot Box Sauna to save room because my sauna is in my garage, and I don't have that much space in my garage. So the sauna does take up room. So oftentimes I won't put it on the part that slides, but the part over here, I can place things on top of it and save myself some room. Even if the sauna box wasn't so tall, I wouldn't want to place anything on top of it. And the fact that it's not made out of the strongest material, that's not possible either. So I just prefer something that's a little bit more horizontally designed as opposed to vertically, like the sauna box is. But that's just a preference. I don't really have a good reason why, but that's just personal preference. So maybe you guys would feel differently. But that's why I gave it size for the Hot Box Sauna. Maintenance isn't bad on either of these. So for the SaunaBox, essentially all you do once you're done with your session is you just let it air out. You want to wipe down any additional condensation from the steam on the walls. This part right here where it says SaunaBox, this is a removable mat. I'll place it in the washing machine and let it air dry. That's really all you got to do. And then every once in a while you want to clean it out. I'll use like vinegar or something, and I'll spray it down and wipe everything out. Whereas the Hot Box Sauna is, it's just like anything else. There's not a self-cleaning sauna as far as I know. So you just want to clean up your sweat. Yeah, that's pretty much it. They're super easy. I gave Hot Box Sauna a higher score because there isn't the humidity factor involved. So I'm not having to wipe down the walls and everything. I just have to wipe down the area that I'm sitting. But that's also why I place a cotton towel down on the ground that catches my sweat. So there's not as much to clean up afterwards. So maintenance goes to Hot Box Sauna. And this is just, I'm not comparing it to other saunas. It's maintenance overall, I guess, is why I gave it the number that I did and not give it a 10. Like I said, as far as I know, there's not a self-cleaning sauna out there, but if that's ever a thing, that'd be pretty cool. Temperature. This is a unique one because they're kind of different modalities. So the Hot Box Sauna, I'll go to it so you guys can see. So I'll have to skip through these a little bit. And I don't know why YouTube's putting ads all over my videos because I'm not a partner. So I don't know why they're doing this to me. Okay, so I did a test on the Hot Box Sauna, and I did it at 15 minutes, at 30 minutes, and then at 1 hour. This right here, this number that you're seeing is at 15 minutes. So you see at 15 minutes, the sauna started at 90 degrees Fahrenheit. After 15 minutes, it was right around 180 degrees Fahrenheit. I also used a thermo gun if you guys want to check out that video. Oops. Skipped past it. Trying to find it. Okay, there we go. So this is at 30 minutes. So at 30 minutes, it hit 200 degrees Fahrenheit. And then at 1 hour, we were all the way up to... Come on now. Okay, this is at 1 hour. So at 1 hour, we were all the way up to 220 plus degrees Fahrenheit. So this thing got very hot very quickly. I'm sure in the wintertime, it would take a little bit longer to heat up, but the heater is very powerful. It's a great device. Whereas the SaunaBox doesn't get, the ambient temperature doesn't get that hot. However, let me go ahead and skip to the end. So I did a 20-minute test. It was kind of unique to test it because the devices that I kept using were malfunctioning because of the heat. So I probably should have used some device that was able to adjust with the humidity. The humidity was completely thrown off all the devices. This thing is supposed to be able to get up to 140 degrees Fahrenheit. So I used a few different devices to try to test it. One of the devices said 130. Oh, there it was. It said 134. But you got to remember too, I opened it up multiple times, and every time I opened it up, the humidity was escaping and the temperature would drop very quickly. So we easily were up to 140 degrees if I wasn't unzipping multiple times throughout the session. So it would have got up to 140 degrees in 20 minutes, and the humidity was probably around 90 to 92%. So it's unbearable. At least it is for me when it's that hot. I can't breathe. Like, it hurts to breathe. You can't take deep breaths. You definitely can't stand up because you're cooked because heat rises. So it's so hot. It hurts your hands. The steam at that temperature, when the humidity is that high, it's hard to tolerate. So I don't think they could even go much higher than 140 degrees Fahrenheit because you would probably pass out. Maybe you guys can handle that heat better than I can. I prefer the dry heat. I did do a temperature test and they were very similar. So my temperature rose around 4 degrees Fahrenheit, my internal temperature. I used an in-ear thermometer. So my internal temperature did rise about the same after both sessions, which means that my body was probably able to induce the heat shock proteins for both sessions, but most of the research is based around higher ambient temperatures, which the Hot Box Sauna has. So most of the research shows starting at 174 to 175 degrees Fahrenheit is when the heat shock proteins, your body starts to produce them. So I didn't find any. I'm sure there is some, but I don't see there isn't as much research on steam rooms. So, but you're able to get heat shock proteins from sessions in the bath too. So I'm sure you're getting similar benefits, just the research isn't there, at least that I was able to find. So it's just different types of heat. If you prefer steam, go with the SaunaBox. If you prefer drier heat, go with the Hot Box Sauna. It's really just a matter of preference. But temperature was really good on both. But the reason I gave this one a 10 is because it's hitting where the research shows that it should be hitting for you to get the maximum benefits from your sauna session. But the 7 is good. You know, I don't prefer the steam. So that's why I gave it a 7. Warranty, I gave them both a 7. So this is kind of just a pick 'em at this point. The reason I might go with the Hot Box Sauna is because I have experience working with their customer service, and they have A+ customer service. I had an issue with issue that I reached out to the SaunaBox support team when I first got my sauna, and their customer service is non-existent, at least for me. They didn't even respond back to me. So just based on my customer service experience, I'm going to go ahead and give it a the Hot Box Sauna, but their warranty is essentially the same. It's a 1-year warranty that covers parts if you need to return it. Let's compare these. So they also have a infrared sauna, and if you need to return their infrared sauna, you have to pay for the freight shipping, and that's the same thing the Hot Box Sauna does. So that's just something to keep in mind. But they do say if there's anything wrong within the first year, they'll replace the parts. So essentially, that's their verbiage is very similar on both of those. So yeah, it's kind of a pick 'em, but I would give it to Hot Box Sauna just because I have experience with their customer service. Now the look. The look is, I mean, how pretty could they have made this look? Now, if you guys want to look at their infrared sauna, I don't have experience with it, but I think that would be a better comparison to compare this to the Hot Box Sauna. I think this looks cool. This looks very modern. It looks like like a time machine. I don't know. To me, it looks cool. I like the look of their infrared sauna. I don't have experience using it. I'm sure this would have been a great comparison to compare this to the Hot Box Sauna because they're a little bit closer in price. But I mean, the SaunaBox SmartSteam Pro, I mean, how pretty could they have made it? I mean, it's essentially a sauna tent. So I think they made it about as sleek as they could. But I just think this wasn't really a fair comparison because the Hot Box Sauna, to me, looks like a piece of art. It's a beautiful sauna, beautiful piece of art, like I said. And they have different versions of it. So they have this one, which is how do you pronounce it? Shosugiban. I completely butchered that word. But they use I believe a blowtorch, and it gives it this nice, cool, charred color. So I really, really dig the look of the Hot Box Sauna. It's not an eyesore by any means. And the SaunaBox, I mean, it's fine. But I think this would be able to look a little bit better in a home or on your porch like this. And if you look on Hot Box Sauna's Instagram page, they have some pictures of how people have fit them into their homes and their home gyms, and I think it blends in a lot more so than the the SaunaBox does. So to me, that's a pretty easy one. Now the value. So I gave the Hot Box Sauna a 9, and I gave the SaunaBox an 8. The value for both of them is great. To be honest, though, I think this is the one that I'm going to have to surprise you guys. I think that the value for the SaunaBox is greater because if you're just concerned with, you don't care about looks, the warranty's whatever, you're going to keep the product, and you don't really care about comfort. You're just trying to get the benefits. You just want the meat and potatoes of getting the heat shock proteins and the benefits. From what I've seen, you're going to get that with the SaunaBox. It's only $320. I mean, you're going to get comparable benefits from this that you would to the Hot Box Sauna. I weighed myself prior to my SaunaBox session, and then I weighed myself prior to my Hot Box Sauna session. I actually lost more weight, more sweat, more water weight in the SaunaBox than I did the Hot Box Sauna. And then the temperature rise, my internal temperature rise, was comparable, a little bit higher for the Hot Box Sauna, but essentially the same. And if I was able to stay in the SaunaBox longer, I'm sure I probably would have had my temperature even higher. So I think if it comes down to it, even though I gave the Hot Box Sauna a better score, I think the SaunaBox is actually you're getting more bang for your buck. But the Hot Box Sauna is a tremendous buy. We covered this at the beginning, but you don't have to pay for the 220 volt electrician to come and install that for you. You don't have to pay for the foundation. Don't have to pay for the structure permit. It's just plug and play. It seems expensive up front, but this is potentially a sauna that could last you the rest of your life. So just keep that in mind. If this is something that you're in it for the long haul, the Hot Box Sauna is for you. If you're not sure if sauna is for you, or if you even use it consistently, to start with something like this. It's not that big of an investment. And if you do use this consistently and you want to upgrade, maybe you can upgrade to their infrared sauna, or you can go over to the Hot Box Sauna, which I think is a fantastic product. So this is the one where I'm going to go ahead and go the other way. We're going to give it the value to the SaunaBox, but the Hot Box Sauna is an incredible value because this is something that you can have for the rest of your life. So, yeah. Overall, obviously, I'm going to go ahead and go with the Hot Box Sauna. I don't have room for both, unfortunately, so I'm probably just going to give my SaunaBox away to, family or a friend, or maybe try to find someone to sell it to. I don't have room for both, so I'm going to hold on to the Hot Box Sauna. But I had the SaunaBox for about a year. I got it definitely gave me the confirmation that I do enjoy using the sauna, and I am going to use it consistently, and that's when I decided to upgrade to the Hot Box Sauna. So they are both fantastic products in their own way. I understand that this wasn't the most fair comparison because one is 10 times the price of the other one, so you would hope that it would mark off most of these, but at the end of the day, both great products. If you guys want to save yourself some money, please check the link in the description. And if you guys have any other questions about anything that I missed, please let me know, and I'll catch you all with more videos very soon.